Let me please thank His Excellency Minister for honoring us with his presence today and give him the floor for opening remarks as the Chair of Committee.
Thank you. Dr. Elena Manekova, the Assistant Secretary General of the World Meteorological Organization, Dr. Gabriela Bedi, Director Rural and Economy and Agriculture, African Union Commission, heads of National Meteorological and Hydrological Services here present, representatives of the United Nations organizations, African institutions, civil society, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you this afternoon to the AMCOMET side event organized by the WMO and the African Union Commission. First and foremost, allow me on behalf of the Republic of Zimbabwe, my African ministerial colleagues in the AMCOMET Bureau, and on my own behalf, to thank you for finding time from your busy schedules to attend this meeting. I would like to particularly congratulate the AMCOMET Secretariat for the excellent arrangements and organization of this event. Ladies and gentlemen, weather and climate and water are essential resources for African countries and cannot be divorced from the factors affecting the socio-economic development of our continent. The productive capacity of almost all the African countries, in particular the least developed countries, LDCs, is especially vulnerable to the extremes of climate variability and climate change. These extremes are becoming more frequent and intense at a time when the African population is also increasing rapidly. The most sensitive sectors are agriculture and food security, health and water quality, transport, and energy industry and tourism, among others. In the end, natural disasters, most of which are weather-related, will become the norm as the increasing urban population struggle to survive, settle in flood-prone areas, surface water becomes scarce, as well as declining in quality, leading to cholera, malaria zones expand, and diseases such as Rift Valley fever re-emerge. What this is implying is that national climate services have to be ready and be appropriately resourced in order to serve these sectors. Major challenges, however, exist in the delivery of weather and climatic services. This is one of the rationales behind the creation of the African Ministerial Conference on Meteorology, AMCOMET. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that one of the landmark outcomes of the first conference of ministers responsible for meteorology in Africa, which was held in Nairobi in April 2010, was a ministerial declaration which created AMCOMET as a high-level mechanism for the development of meteorology and its applications to discuss weather and climate policy, strategic and operational plans for the improvement of meteorology and climate change in Africa. It is important to note that the National Meteorological and Hydrological Services play a key role in providing accurate and timely weather and climate services for informed decision-making based on robust science in planning and preparedness to reduce disaster impacts and spur economic growth and development. AMCOMET fosters the political will to strengthen national meteorological and hydrological services to enable them to fully perform their mandates. Distinguished participants, you may further recall that during the second session of AMCOMET, held in Zimbabwe in 2012, the Integrated African Strategy on Meteorology, Weather and Climate Services was approved by ministers in charge of meteorology. The strategy was further endorsed by the African Union Summit of Heads of States in January of this year. The strategy is critical as it positions weather and climate services as essential components in national and regional development frameworks and sustainable development in Africa. One of its key objectives is to enhance cooperation between African countries and strengthen the capabilities of NMHs. The overarching theme for the third session of the Conference on Climate Change and Development in Africa is bringing the continent to transformative development. The conference sub-themes are directly relevant to why we are here today, to discuss the key role the Integrated African Strategy on Meteorology, Weather and Climate Services in enhancing climate services for development in Africa. Under the first sub-theme, climate science, data, and services for adaptation, we need to address the capacities of NMHS and regional climate centers in order to have scientific knowledge based on available data. These capacities include infrastructure, equipment, and IT and human resources. Under sub-theme 2, role of policy in building Africa's resilience, it should be noted that AMCOMET serves as the backbone at the highest policy level within the African continent. Under sub-theme 3 is the Global Climate Change Framework working for Africa. We should highlight the importance of the Global Framework for Climate Services, GFCS, which seeks to enable society to better manage the risks and opportunities arising from climate variability and change, especially those societies most vulnerable to climate-related hazards. AMCOMET will serve as a key mechanism for its implementation in Africa. At the closure of this meeting, I hope that we will all have an improved and common understanding of the importance of weather and climate services for Africa's development. It is important that we enhance the understanding of Africa's specific challenges and opportunities as they relate to the implementation of the Integrated African Strategy on Meteorology, Weather and Climate Services. Furthermore, we should have a clear understanding of the synergies that exist between AMCOMET, the Integrated African Strategy, and the ClimDev Africa program. Last but not least, we need you to recommend any further roles ministers and national governments can play in supporting these efforts to better serve our constituency, protect the environment, life and property, enhance the quality of life and promote climate resilient societies. With these remarks, it is my humble privilege to wish you all good discussions, and I hope to see all of you at the third session of AMCOMET, which will take place in Benin next year. I thank you. Merci.